felt good to get back in the end zone. Probably a little much there. My mom was pretty mad about that.
You could always disrespect me, whatever, but when you disrespect my receivers, my tight ends, my O-line, and our pass game, that I take that to heart.
I wish you would. I heard you was talking spicy. All right, let's be honest. The 2026 QB class is cooked. Well, at least the QB class we thought it was going to be. You know, I made this weekly series because there was all this hype about Arch Manning. There was all this hype about Big Bad Lenore Sellers, Cade Klubnik, Drew Aller. I mean, there's so many dogs out there. The Gumbo Slinger. And they're mid. They're either mid or they're Arch Manning, who is terrible, and Cade Klubnik, who I think swap the brains with DJ. I don't know what happened. Maybe DJ put like a spell, but as soon as he left college, he just left his former Clemson body there for Cade Klubnik to live out there. I don't know what's happening. It looks really bad. But here's the bright side. The bright side is, even though I'm wrong in my list, and we're going to talk about my list, there's a new list. This is the special edition list. This is the true list, because as we are going to look at some of the stat rankings, you're going to see some of these names in the new list. So let's talk about those names that we talked about. John Mateer, hey, dog. He was I put him on the list last week, but again, nobody had him at the top. Carson Beck, he's good, but he's mid. The Gumbo Slinger, mid. Lenore Sellers, mid. Drew Aller, mid. They're all mid. Cade Klubnik and Yet Manning are terrible, but these are dogs. Fernando Mendoza, that boy at the top of everything. Tommy Castellanos, that's not how you say his last name. Please don't say his last name like that. I'm just super sleepy. Dante Moore out there in Oregon, and Johnny Mateer. I think these four quarterbacks are the four quarterbacks in the 2026 draft. I think they lied to you. I think this Lenore Sellers propaganda is exactly propaganda, because Lenore Sellers was the top vote getter among 25 NFL scouts and executives polled by Pete Thamel to see who they project as the top quarterback for the upcoming draft. So I will say, at the moment, if you look at what the scouts are saying, right? If you look at what the scouts are saying, it's going to be Lenore Sellers. He's big. He's 6'3", right? And it's the NFL's fascination of just getting a big dude and try to make him Josh Allen. Worked great with Anthony Richardson. But the Heisman odds, again, you're gonna see a trend here. Shout out to my guy who commented in my last video. He was shouting about Fernando Mendoza. He's been on my NFL videos talking about it. He's been on my college football. He said, stop talking about that bum Arch Manning and talk about the man. The former Cal transfer, shout out to the Calgorithm, Fernando Mendoza, who is the leader in Heisman odds. Number 2, Johnny Mateer, who had a decent game as well against Auburn. Carson Beck, Dante Moore, and then Gunnar Stockton. Obviously, Georgia was in a bye week. And then if we talk about, I just want to slip this in, because there was a lot of hype. We threw a lot of names around. I knew DJ Lagway wasn't him. Right? Y'all can grill me for the Arch Manning thing. I'm a Longhorn fan. It's cool. But I knew Lagway didn't have him because I watched him play football, and Billy Napier is his head coach. Now, if Billy Napier wasn't his head coach, maybe DJ Lagway could have had something going on. But the kid didn't even play spring. Like, he didn't practice the entire... They set him up for failure. I gotta be honest with you. Now, before we get into some stats and facts, I just want to read this. It's actually hilarious. This is not mine. This is not what I'm saying. It's actually hilarious how DJ Lagway, Lenore Sellers, Arch Manning, and Cade Klubnik were labeled first-round picks off doing nothing in college. And Shedeur Sanders put up 2 years of good film, 8th in Heisman voting, number one in what's it called? Completion percentage, all that stuff. And I have another stat. I'm not going to drag down the Shedeur right now, but he has 2 years of good film, and people said I need to see more. I think this is, while this is fair, I think it's a little out of context. Again, like I said, I don't think it's a football thing. I think people try to bring football reasons to Shedeur, but it's just they don't like him. Let's be honest with you, and that's okay. It's okay not to like somebody. It's all right not to like somebody. So let's take a look at some of the stats and facts and show you why I have Fernando Mendoza, why everyone loves Fernando Mendoza. Now, ignore the Super Saiyan. No, Julian saying you're not allowed to be in here. You're throwing to Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate. It's not. I'm gonna come out here and say it. All right, because I'm I'm salty. I don't know what to tell you. Stop beating us. So Julian saying is number 1 when it comes to completion percentage at 78.9. Number 2 is Fernando Mendoza. Now, this is crazy. It's only going to get crazier because you're going to see the other stats that Fernando Mendoza is at the top of. Dylan Raiola. Everybody's making fun about him dressing and acting and wanting Patrick Mahomes' soul. And I think that's hilarious. But, I mean, the kid's playing good football, so it is what it is. Aaron Philo. Okay, I probably should have done a minimum here. But anyway, Dante Moore. He is tied with a man that's, okay, this works great. I think people shouldn't do it. Dante Moore, the Oregon quarterback, is tied at 74% completion percentage with a player who's only thrown or attempted 28 passes. That is, hey, you're doing something right. Diego Pavia, number 5, 73. Damon Williams Jr. Now, this Damon Williams Jr. guy out of Washington, he is dynamic. He's a dog. I would love to talk about him. Again, he's only thrown 68 passes. You see where he gets his money, right? He gets his money on the ground. Carson Beck with 112 attempts, still throwing 73%. Like, that's what you're going to get from Carson Beck. You're going to get a consistency from Carson Beck. That's why he's going to be like that safe, middle of the first, maybe late second round pick that everybody's like, all right. Like, it's just going to be like a no-brainer to draft him. Now, if we talk about yard leaders, that boy Sawyer Robinson's going crazy. You got Steve Angeli. Steve Angeli's out for the season. Dang it. That sucks. But Fran Brown really had something cooking there. Hopefully the backup quarterback can come in there, but that was just a great story. So I hope Steve can come back and get it again. Darian Mensah, I haven't been covering a lot of him, but there's been a lot of hype coming out of Duke. Caden Hauser out of ECU, so you can actually see the stat numbers too. I'll just read these. Then you got number 6, you got Jaden Mavia. And number 7, Johnny Mateer. Number 8, Taylon Green. Number 8, Maverick McVlore. And number 10, Ethan Kalak. I'm not going to try to butcher your name. Now, the leaders in touchdowns. Would you look at that? That boy Fernando Mendoza. The Fernando Mendoza, boy. That boy nice. Hey, the stats say it. Everything says it. That boy nice. So who's leading in passing touchdowns? And number 2 in completion percentage, throwing almost 100 attempts. Fernandezzi, what y'all talking about? This boy nice. He real nice. He's pulling off real deal NFL throws. He's getting a lot of attention from NFL scouts, NFL pundits. Brett Collerman has already been sucking him off, so you know he's in the right direction. Taylon Green, I do want to point out this boy has like 77 total touchdowns. He has a lot of touchdowns. Sawyer Robinson's going crazy. Jalen Daniels, Joey Aguilar, all that 3 there tied for 12. Bayron Morton. Now, he did go down in the last game, but I think it was just a concussion. Their backup came in and was just like, oh, yeah, by the way, I'm a dog, too. I was like, okay, yikes. All right, Texas Tech. Hey, Texas Tech. Hey, you know what? I got to praise Texas Tech because unlike Texas A&M, who spent a bunch of money for years, and nothing happened. Texas Tech spends a bunch of money for the first time. Something's happening. Hey, shout out to Tech. Dante Moore here, Dylan Raiola, Dylan Mensah, all tied for number 6 there. But so you see the stats, you see the facts, you see why. And here you go. This is QBR for the 2025 season. Fernando Mendoza up there. Stop. Don't pay attention to Julian saying. Don't. Stop. No, not yet, Super Saiyan. Not yet. I don't think he's coming out yet. But anyway, not the point. You get my point. So today what we're going to talk about is a few of those big bad dogs. So I talked about top guys. I talked about who the scouts like, and it's going to be Lenore Sellers. So let's do how we always do and go through this. So Mendoza, I think with the phenomenal day that he had, right, against a ranked Illinois team. Indiana, wow, y'all disrespected Illinois. Like Brett Bielema, he needs counseling after that. Like that is Kurt. That's a respected head coach, and you just bent that boy over. And it's hard when Fernando Mendoza only throws 23 passes, but only 2 of them hit the ground. That boy said all I need to do is throw 23 because it's gonna give me 5 touchdowns and 267, and I ain't gonna miss a beat. Right? And then on top of that, what kind of dog is Fernando Mendoza, huh?
I don't want to put any quotes out there, but early in the week, I heard that their defensive coordinator was complimenting our run game, but was still a little iffy on our pass game. So I'm really glad that we're able to show what we can do in the pass game. And, you could always disrespect me, whatever. But when you disrespect my receivers, my tight ends, my O-line, and our pass game, that I take that to heart. So I'm glad we're able to show what we can do and respect you, everyone at Illinois at a fantastic institution, and hope they have a great rest of the year.
And
Dog. Well, I mean, you talk about a quarterback's quarterback. I like that. He said, you can count me out. Mendoza, hey, y'all can talk greasily about 1-5, because 1-5 can handle it. But you talk about my guys? You talk about the score. I wish you would. Take 267 and 5 touchdowns. Here. I heard you was talking spicy. How about I lost 5 of them things right in your end zone, huh? I'm just throwing darts. Fernando Mendoza is the first Big Ten quarterback to throw at least 4 touchdowns in 3 straight games since Ohio State CJ Stroud. Now, sadly, we see what year 3 in the NFL CJ Stroud looks like, so be careful there. Other than that, this was a legendary season. Fernando Mendoza is dropping seeds, and these are NFL level throws. If we could watch one of these passes, I just want to show you. Because, again, we can't watch too much, but we can watch just enough, right? So, again, NFL level throws, tight one. I mean, that's just an RPO. That's just a little RPO. Right? Boom. He's going to go here with it. I do have to keep pausing, slow it down, keep it around. Boom, right over the top. Can we get to some bangers? Because he was throwing some seeds. Oh, here. This is perfect. This is exactly what I want to see. So, what I like most about him, again, look at him work in the red zone, right? It's one thing to throw big bombs and stretch the field. That's always going to be a great attribute to have. But when you're around the red zone and you can throw over 1, 2, 3, 4 bodies, it looks like five defenders in the area. Give your receiver a chance up high. This is what Fernando Mendoza's game's about. It's about precision, accuracy, and clearly a lot of leadership. Here he goes again on the play action. Out there, again, just over people. He's doing it. He's layering it. He has another level of go and get back. That boy, really nice. Now, it would be a shame if we talked about all of this without talking about this bum Arch Manning flexing on everybody, huh? He's flexing on everybody. Now, y'all know I'm a Texas fan, and I made a joking video about it when I was yelling and hooting and hollering about it. And can I be honest about this? Look, this is a young guy who I've been calling trash for the last 3 weeks. The national media has been calling trash for the last 3 weeks. He had a lot of pent-up emotion, right? And he kind of let that out. And he even talked about it in the interview. He was like, his mom was mad at him. He said he admitted that he probably should have got a flag. Now, there's probably some bias, the reason why he didn't get a flag, but that's for, that's for another video, and it's coming this week. Don't worry. Don't worry. But right now, we're talking about foosball. The thing that was so positive about Arch is that he wasn't throwing footballs at people's ankles. Like, he was pretending like he knew how to throw with accuracy, timing. He looked a lot more confident. He was working the pocket a lot better. So if flexing on Sam Houston is what you got to do to get right, Arch, I mean, for the love of God, just make sure you do it against Texas A&M, because I mean, he was tweaking. Like, look at him. Like, geez, dog. Like, I don't know how many Red Bulls they gave Arch Manning, but it was a little too much. Obviously, Cade Klubnik. I want to point this out. This man threw the ball 60 times. We already talked about it because we had a Dabo Sweeney video this weekend. This man threw the ball 60 times. Hey, Real Lap, what's happening? Hey, Real Lap, if you want me to use all your stats, I mean, I don't know, talk to a player. I'll make you play. Anyway, shout out to the Real Lap. 60 attempts. You only got 363, 3 touchdowns and an interception. Again, somebody who was really looked at as an easy QB3, a heavy favorite in the Heisman in some regards. What does Cade Klubnik have to say about another loss, an embarrassing loss? I mean, the backup QB came in and finished the job. You know what I mean?
I mean, we were doing it really all throughout the game. We were doing it all throughout the game. We were playing with tempo, and props to them. They stopped us on some third downs and in certain times, and then they have an injury or something like that when we really got going. So that's up to them if they want to be honest about that. But that was just that was definitely tough for us to really get in a rhythm when we're playing fast, and then unfortunately they have a guy get hurt or something, so or a timeout or something like that. So.
Oh, he's pulling a Dabo. Now he's blaming the injuries on them not being able to play tempo. It's a sad sight. It's a sad sight. It's a real sad sight for them Clemson boys. Now, somebody who I should have been talking about a long time ago, Mr. Thomas Castellanos. Not to be fair, I talk about him in like every single one of these quarterback ranking videos. The dude's a dog. I don't know what to tell you. There's one thing to be a guy and put the stats up, right? Obviously, because Tommy Castellanos didn't. I mean, he's already had his bye weeks. That's probably why he's not going to be at the top of some of those rankings. And if I probably goes rushing touchdowns, he's going to be up there. Rushing yards, he's going to be up there. Look, his game's a little different. He's a true, real deal. Oh, Brock Glenn is still on the team? Oh, okay, cool. I thought Brock Glenn transferred. That was the other dude that transferred. That was the other dude that transferred. But I mean, the dude's a dog. And now there was some fear, apparently, that Tommy might have been hurt. He went on IG Live, I think, to go ahead and dispel all that.
I'm good. Yeah. I'm straight, y'all. We straight.
Yeah, man. He said he good, man. No injury can stop him. I mean, the thing about him is, right, the thing that stands out to me about Thomas Castellanos, right, and why I don't really care about the stats so much as more about the way people love him, right? This is a Florida State team, again, that was 2-10. They were dying out. They looked absolutely terrible. So to come from that, to have almost this tight-knit group, to have a quarterback that's really giving energy to not only the whole FSU, community, but also the FSU team. I mean, it's a beautiful sight to see. Again, if y'all know me and y'all been watching my channel, I've been making videos about FSU. I have a very strong attachment to FSU. That was my first college game when I was in middle school. First live one. It was Florida State versus Idaho, the Telvin Smith days. I think it was the year they won the national championship. That is crazy. I think I watched the national championship. Seminoles. That's dope. But yeah, man, Boston College head coach, and that's another thing I want to talk about, because remember, he was and I made a video about this. This was infamously last year. He sat away. He took a days away from the team after getting benched at Boston College. And y'all know me as a Texans fan. And anything Bill O'Brien is involved with, Bill O'Brien is wrong. So I gotta say, looking back at it, Billy O.B., what happened? Billy O. Now I actually think the Boston College, their new regime is all right, but still, man, it's a real deal Billy O'Brien thing to trade away or force out a talented player for no real substantial reason because he doesn't know how to fully utilize them. So I think that's the situation there. Lenore Sellers, man. Despite Lenore Sellers superstar potential against Missouri despite the loss. 18 for 28, 302 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns, 124 passer rating. So again, I think it needs to be pointed out that Lenore was also dealing with some injuries. Lenore was also took some nasty sacks too. But hey, we got to be honest with you. Like I said, Anthony Richardson, right? People are just frothing at the mouth for having a big body quarterback to be as athletic as he is. So he's just going to be at the top of people's draft board. It's not, I don't even think he has to do anything else this season to really do that. Now, Johnny Mateer is going crazy. 24 for 36, 300 total yards, 2 total touchdowns. Obviously, he does a lot on the ground. And now, post-game, I just want to talk about this. Post-game, you know what I'm saying? They was asking old Big Mateer. They was like, yo, what's the difference between you and Johnny Manziel? And he said, yo, look, I'm going to the church in the morning. So you trying to take shots at John? Big Johnny Manziel? Man, I don't like the way y'all disrespecting Johnny, man. I don't like it. I don't like it at all, man. Y'all, we gotta button this up, Johnny. Johnny Mateer, can we? That's Heisman winner, Alabama beater, dynasty shocker. Like, can we put some respect on the flying, smoking number 2 out there? And I hate Texas A&M. You got it. Hey, get that boy his respect, man. Get that boy his respect. But Johnny Mateer, he's pretty good at football, I guess. I think he's pretty good. We talked about Cade. We talked about Arch Manning being terrible. Fernando Mendoza. Oh, last one, Dante Moore. So Dante Moore's a little young, but he can come out. I believe he is a junior, but he's like he might be like a redshirt sophomore type thing. So Oregon quarterback Dante Moore versus Oregon State, in if I remember correctly, he was a part of that 2023 class with Arch Manning and DJ and all of them. So he's Malachi Nelson, right? So I think he's transferred around a few places from UCLA. So he transferred out of UCLA to Oregon. It says to take the keys away from, or take the keys after Dylan Gabriel was done. Against Oregon State, he was 21 for 31, 305 yards, and 4 touchdowns. He's been throwing absolute seeds and bombs. Matt Miller, NFL draft scout. Again, these are people, these are scouts in the NFL talking about if the Heisman was legitimately for the best player in CFB, these are the 5 best players he's seen so far. That's Ruben Bain Jr. Now, that is the defensive end out of Miami. Now, if y'all want me to make some edge videos, dog, that's my bag. My favorite thing to talk about is defensive ends and offensive linemen. I gotta be honest. So if y'all want me to get in that bag, we can make an edge video, but y'all gonna have to let me know in the comments. Amon Hardy, actually, I'm not sure where that is. Fernando Mendoza, Dante Moore Jr., and Caleb Downs. Caleb Downs, obviously one of the better. He's just an NFL player. Like that. Caleb Downs is one of those players that, like, he doesn't even have to put stats up. What he does in a defense is just, like, undeniable. Like, he plugs so many holes. He can play X. He can play true safety. He can play in the the versatility in the fact that it's not just, oh, he's versatile on defense. He can do all those things versatilely. He can do all those different things at a high level, and that's really what separates him. So, how are you feeling? Now, I'm gonna do one special thing for this video. All right. So this is what we got cooking here. I'm setting out this poll right now. Who's the #1 pick in the 2026 NFL draft based on what you've seen so far in the NFL and CFB? So, maybe there's a certain team you think is going to be picking one that fits another style. Maybe he's more of a Dante Moore guy. Maybe he's an Arch Manning guy. I'll put Arch Manning in there to troll. Lenora Sellers is the NFL scout favorite. And then, of course, Fernando Mendoza, who's statistically rocking and stocking robots right now and leading in the Heisman voting. And then I want y'all to comment who y'all think really will be. Is it going to be another player? If not, vote. Comment why Arch Manning won't be, or why one of these players won't be. But yeah, man, check that out, and we will be reading that on the next college football quarterback ranking. So shout out for y'all for watching. Listen to me yap this long. This is an interesting quarterback class. I think we've been paying attention to the wrong guys. Arch Manning is at fault here. All right, we're going to blame him for everything. But like this video if you like it, dislike if you don't. Subscribe if you like football content of all shapes, sizes, forms, fashions, and factors. Continue being great. Have a phenomenal day, and we'll see you next time. Peace.